Hi. I can't believe this is episode 96. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am now recording these for you guys because the podcast is on episode 96. I'm so happy to be here with you. Happy New Year. I want you guys to tag me and tell me all of the things about your holidays. Ours were amazing. We had this ice storm. When did it start? Like on the 23rd. And so we live at the bottom of the steepest hill in our town. And so it was one solid sheet of ice. And so there was no getting out to run around at the last minute to get this or that, or stocking stuffer here, or ham for, Christmas Day here. So it was awesome. We snuggled, we watched movies, the kids colored and played with their imagination. It was just so quiet and so beautiful. Last year, if you've been with me on the podcast, and last year I spent Christmas in the hospital. I had some very random, very intense stomach pain, and the ambulance had to come and get me after I put the kids to bed on Christmas Eve. So I missed Christmas last year. I missed the look on my baby's faces when they woke up and they saw that Santa came. I missed it. And I was just so thankful to be well, to be healthy, and to be with my family on Christmas Day. So it really is the little things in life, my friends. Christmas morning, watching the magic of Santa is my favorite memory of every single year. So it was so special. And I hope yours was too. I hope that you saw like the everyday things that are just so beautiful. And sometimes and I hate to say this, but sometimes when you don't have them, right, then you can really appreciate what it is that you do have. And I wrote a post recently and I said, like, your life doesn't have to be epic every single day to be awesome, right? In other words, there's like all these reels going on Instagram of like all the places people have been in 2022. And listen, my family and I mean, in 4 weeks, we're going on a 2-week vacation. So we're going to do a lot of travel, but also we enjoy the everyday moments as well. So I hope that you are too. And it kind of gets me on the topic of what I wanted to talk with you about today. I wrote just a few notes because I've been seeing online two schools of thought when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And I wanted to share my thoughts with you because I think that making resolutions is fun and important. And I'm seeing a lot of like, well, I don't believe in resolutions. I believe in like just being XYZ year long. Right. And so I wanted to get into that topic. Like, what do you believe? Like, some people pick a word for the year. I have absolutely done that before. I'm not going to be doing that this year, but I have done that before. And I'm going to give you some different schools of thought so that you can decide for yourself what works for you. And I want you to check in with your body as you're listening. What feels right? Let your body take the lead when it comes to goal setting and your intentions for 2023 and what you want this incredible year to look like. And more importantly, what do you want it to feel like? So I actually want to start there. Whenever I think about a new chunk of time, whether it be the year, I personally do this quarterly. I think to myself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? Not what do I want to think or what do I want to do, but you will not be surprised to know I start body up. Like, how do I want to feel in this year? And so I want to ask you that. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel grateful? Do you want to feel in awe of what you've created? Do you want to feel excited? Like, what is really calling to you? And how do you want to feel? And so I want to talk to you about intentions versus resolutions, because I think there's magic in both of them. So there's always like a lot of talk as we come up to the new year about New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. It was so interesting this year. And maybe it's just the people in my realm of who I end up, seeing their social media posts. I'm not on social a ton. I'm there to check in with you guys and, do my part in spreading my message, and then I'm off of it. So, but what I was seeing was like, don't make New Year's resolutions, like just commit to something year long. Well, it's the same thing. Okay. Making a New Year's resolution is the same thing. And here's what I love about the word and the idea behind a New Year's resolution. When you are resolute about something, you have made a decision. So you've heard me talk about decision making before. I have episodes on that. And if you struggle making decisions, absolutely go listen to them. But when you make a decision, that, like a real decision, that is when the universe, that is when God, that is when all of the stars align to help you reach that goal, whatever that is in any area of your life. It could be your revenue goal. It could be a weight loss goal. It could be a health goal. It could be spending more time with your family. Like it doesn't matter what it is that you're resolute about. Resolute means you've just made a decision. So we could just call it like a New Year decision, right? And so I love that. I can't imagine that there's anything wrong with making a decision around the new year. And I've said this before. I absolutely believe in the quantum leap, the energy of lots of people making decisions and having that energy help me reach my goals, right? So if I'm making a decision on my own, yes, I'm very powerful, but when we do it in a community, we get further. So I love to make New Year's decisions, New Year's resolutions. And that doesn't mean though that I don't also make decisions and resolutions outside of like the last week in December, the first week in January. Okay. So that's where we get caught up. That's where New Year's resolutions come to like die, right? It's like when we give it a go for a couple of weeks and then we give up. When you make a decision, then, and you are resolute about it, that means there is no other world in which that decision does not come true. So that means that you are committed. Like there's a level of commitment there when you are resolute about your decision. So you need commitment to make any resolution come true. So I want you to think like, how committed am I? How can I recommit to myself? So this is where intention setting comes in. And I like to do this quarterly. I love the like energetic group momentum around the first of the year, 100%, especially in business, setting revenue goals, setting how many people I want to impact. Like I'll share with you my personal business goals this year are about impact more than revenue. I really feel more committed and more determined and more resolute than I ever have before to get this message, the nervous system plus mindset plus manifestation, like this message out into the world in a way that people can understand it and apply it no matter who you are or what you do in life. Like I am on a mother effing mission. Okay. So what I want you to know about me being on this determined mission. And I'm sure you can relate. There are some years that I haven't been as fiery, right? And this year I'm like extremely fiery. What that means for me is I will be doing way more interviews, speaking engagements, getting my message out to the masses. And so I'll be doing a lot of that. And I'll be doing a lot of serving my clients. And I'll be pulling back on some of the other areas that I typically spend time on, which is actually physically like doing some things in my business that my team can do. Okay. So know that this is a year of like, I am resolute about the fact that I need for people to know that this body of work exists because it is life-changing. And I'm here to help people that want to be helped. Okay. So for you, what does that look like for you? Like, how committed are you? And it's okay. And I always use a scale of 1 to 10. Like, how committed am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, this year it's like a freaking 10, which means I am going to have to, and if you were a 10 too, I'm going to have a lot of rest. I'm going to have a lot of healthy foods. I'm going to have to really, really take care of myself so that I'm going to have a lot of nervous system regulation so that I can, create this momentum that I intend to create this year. And for you, your goals may be on the personal side. I've absolutely had years in business where it's like, my business is important. Absolutely. But I mean, I would say I've had many years in business where my mental health, my own healing journey was the priority. And those years is when I needed to invest a lot into my mental health, figuring out how to support myself as I ran a business. And so every year is going to look a little different. So I don't want you to think, okay, well, last year I did, $100,000. So this year I must do 200. But your body's really saying like, girl, you need to learn how to rest. You need to learn how to not hustle. You need to learn how to delegate and let other people do things in your business. You can't trick me. You know what you need to focus on this year. It's just that we may get a little scared to be resolute about it and be super committed to it. And that is where you bring in help. If you know yourself well enough, I mean, I'm always bringing in help. I know myself well enough to know where my weaknesses are. And so those are the areas that I make sure, because I'm so committed, I make sure that I have the support I need, getting my rest, hiring my coaches, hiring, additional team members, whatever that is, so that I can make my goals a reality. And the same is true for you. So what I love though about intentions, in addition to resolutions, is I love to do intention setting quarterly. You could call it a New Year's resolution quarterly, I guess, except for that it's not at the new year. So I fully recognize, having lived life, that anything can happen at any time, good and bad. And I fully expect a lot of good to happen this year. And also, I have been through when life hits you and it is completely unexpected, like being struck by lightning. And so what I like to give myself and my business is the space to reevaluate where my intentions need to be on a quarterly basis. So let's say I committed, like I've talked to you about, to really getting this body of work out there and being more strategic about where I spend my time. Great. But let's say halfway through the year, I have an idea for an offer, let's just say, that I want to create, which means I'm going to have to pull back on that New Year's resolution commitment. I'm fine with that. I am fine with fully trusting myself. And I want you to be fine with fully trusting yourself any month, any day, any week of the year. We make the best decisions, AKA the best resolutions, for ourselves at the time. But there are things that happen, like we could get sick, there could be a divorce, there could be this, there could be that, like whatever it is that my clients go through, and life happens. It's why I love working with my clients for such an extended period of time. Most of my clients rejoin again and again, because I really get to live life with them, like by their side, and we get to navigate on the nervous system, on a mindset level, on a spiritual level together, so that once we've done that through some stormy waters, they now have the tools to do that on their own. So I love to give myself the quarter to then evaluate, all right, like, how did this go? How committed was I? How does this feel? Like, is this New Year's resolution matching with the feeling that I wanted to cultivate for my life? And if not, then I change it up, right? It's okay. And if so, you just keep going. So I really wanted to talk to you today about my thoughts around resolutions. Is simply just being resolute about a decision and then being committed to that decision. That's it. And then intentions and giving yourself the opportunity to lean in and trust yourself. I do it quarterly, but you could do it monthly, 100%. You could do it weekly. You can do whatever feels good to you. I like to do it quarterly because from a business perspective, that's really clean. And because I really, my business and my life is all one big part of me. Like it's really not separate. I love what I do so much. I embody what I do so much that it's not enmeshed like in an unhealthy way. It's just, yeah, I am a coach. Like I am a healing life coach for entrepreneurs. This is what I do. It's what I do when I'm with my kids. It's what I do when I'm at work. It's just who I am. And so I really do like fully trusting myself. And if I need to make a new decision, I make a new decision, AKA resolution at the beginning of each quarter. If I notice that I am not feeling the way that I want to feel in that year, that is when I would look at something sooner. So your feeling for the year is your, like, that's really the big goal. How do you want to feel? And I don't know if anybody's ever asked you that before, right? Like I'm the feelings coach. People come to me with feelings. I love feelings. I can talk about feelings all day, every day. And I do with my kids, with myself, with my clients. Feelings are how we see the world. So how do you want to feel? What's that going to look like? I did, as you know, I did some VIP days for you guys, and they were so amazing. And I'm doing a couple this month as well. By the way, if you're interested in a VIP day, it's a 6-hour immersion experience where we start with the feeling, and then we look at your energy map. I have this whole intellectual property around energy mapping, like how you're spending your energy, what you're doing. And then we go into actually planning out on the calendar what it's going to look like to support the feeling you want, to support your resolutions, to support your quarterly goals. So it's so much fun. And it's really intense. So if you do want that, I'm not offering that publicly, but I will absolutely, if one of you reaches out to me and wants to do that, definitely do that. But when I was doing that, we were all about the feeling. So if your feeling is adventure, okay, well then we have to plan some adventure, right? I want to feel adventurous. Great. What is that going to look like? What do we need to do? How do we need to set yourself up for success? And remembering that habits take 3 weeks, they say 21 days to form. And that's if you're like perfect at it. So I always say it takes a month. I always do like a new habit in a month. And so with my intention setting, and I would suggest this for you guys, it could be a smaller thing. And I learned this a very long time ago when I started my career in wellness marketing. You can really only have one big goal at a time, and then a second smaller one. So you want your one resolution, the one thing you're super committed to, and then one smaller one. So like one smaller one could be, I want to drink 3 jugs of water a day. Let's just say. You want to give yourself the whole month to be intentional about that. And then once that becomes a habit, then that's on auto drive, and we can look at a different intention for the next month. I want to eat 1 extra serving of vegetables a day, right? Or I want to post on social media 5 times a week. And so you're going to bring your intention, which is simply just your focus, to that. Hear me when I say this. I'm going to say it again. 1 big goal, 1 small goal. So 1 big resolution commitment and 1 smaller one where you're just putting your intention / focus to. So those are my tips and tricks to carry you through the year. We talked about like 3 major things. We talked about resolutions and commitments. We talked about trusting yourself and setting new intentions quarterly. And then we looked at, you can have one big, one small goal simultaneously. When you have too many goals, the brain actually can't keep up with that. And so you end up failing. And what we don't want to do is for you to have proof to the story that your resolutions or your goals just like never come true. Like none of us need that, right? That's the programming we've been given, and we're trying to unwind that. So we want to set you up for success. So if you have a bunch of small goals, I know I do, one of which is to spend time outside with my dogs every day. We got a puppy. Well, she's not a puppy. She's 8 months old, but she's so amazing. And so now I have 2 doggies, and one of my intentions is to get some daylight every single morning before I come into the office and spend some time outside with them after I get the kids to school, right? So that's a small thing that will have a large impact on our family. They will be worn out. They will be happy. I will have had some fresh air. The kids, aren't there, so they can have like time with me and all of that good stuff. So think about what your one big goal is, and then allow yourself to change it as life happens, and then what your smaller goals are. And know that if you want to be successful, you just focus on those 2 things. And once the smaller things become a habit, same thing with your resolution, like your resolution may become a habit, and then you have the capacity, the nervous system capacity to bring on more into your year. So happy New Year. I am welcoming you into my coaching practice as a one-on-one client, or a VIP day is what I have going on right now. I would love nothing more than to serve you. It looks like a 6-month commitment. Me and you, we meet every other week. At this point, it's seeming like that's what's working. We can certainly meet more. I'm not actually tied to the amount of time in the 6 months. It's more around the results and what you're looking for in your life. So I'm really looking forward to working with so many of you. And you can find me on in the links below, and on DoreenCorbat.com is where you can schedule a discovery call, and we can get to know each other. All right, my friends, have a beautiful second week of the year. I can't wait to see what your resolutions are, what you're committed to, what your intentions are. Screenshot, tag me, and if you would, please leave a review. If you liked this, if you got something out of it, please do leave a review, because it is how other people can get this free information. And the more people get this information, the more free things I can offer. That's really how it works. So I am looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye.